got mail. Good morning, everybody. You're tuned to Computer Studio now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm your host, Amnon, and for the next couple of hours, well, 1 hour, along with Nick.
Oh, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How
Nick
are you?
is in the studio, everybody,
Very exciting.
and he's not alone.
So this time Amnon can slap him if he says something.
No, he's not going to make it across this table. There's too much of a gap.
And let's see, Spence is here,
Good morning.
and Gal is here,
Morning.
and Katie's here.
Morning, morning.
Morning. Our number is 919-518-9773. Computers took a voice on Skype, and today's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. Done with that.
Intel is laying off.
Wait,
what?
Before you get into Intel, I want to update people and say that GalaxyCon last weekend
Oh,
was
yeah.
very successful.
Excellent.
And I sold a bunch of 3D printed stuff. A lot of people liked my things, and I reapplied and got into next year. So I will also be there next year. And I need to bring stickers because stickers apparently were the big ticket item last weekend. I mean, the booth next to me made like $1,200 in one day just from stickers. And then the next day they doubled that. And so it was pretty crazy. I'm like, okay, I need to 3D print some stickers.
Did you have enough product, or did you? Because I know most of the cons in the past you've run out of product. Close to it.
I had a lot of different stuff. So as I was running out of stuff, I was bringing new things. So the first day, I had some stuff. The thing that sold a lot that I sold out of were misprints. So the 3D printing, it would have some mistakes, and so the models would have like a little hiccup on it or whatever. Nothing I can sell full price, but I bring it to the con and sell it for $10, and those sold like crazy.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, at least you can do something with those.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, now I know what more to bring for next year and what people like. So that's good. I'm excited.
Good stuff, Katie.
Yeah.
You're killing it.
Okay. Thanks, man. Okay, now Intel.
They're firing like 20% of their workforce.
Jesus.
Yeah, they're laying off 15,000 employees.
Whoa.
And their stock.
Their stock
just went.
absolutely nosedove
Yep.
this week.
Did you see the story related to that about how there was a bill passed that spent $25 billion on trying to bring chip manufacturing back to the United States and reinforce the existing?
Yeah, Biden thought they called this CHIPS Act thing a great idea.
Yeah,
they gave
it worked
Intel
great.
all of this money. Now they're laying off 15,000 workers, 20% of the workforce, and their stock is trading at $21 a share.
And Intel got a ton of money.
Oh, God, yeah.
So
Billions of dollars.
And others too. Come on.
Yeah,
Others
but
too,
the
yes.
big thing was some Intel plant. Where was it, Spence? Somewhere in the upper Midwest, Ohio, Michigan, somewhere in
Yeah.
that ballpark.
In the
A
Rust
huge
Belt.
plant. Yeah,
Yep.
somewhere in the Rust Belt.
Is it 20% in the U.S. or across the world?
Global.
Global. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. 20%, 15,000 workers, and they will apparently stop non-essential work, whatever the hell that means.
So they have non-essential work going on.
Apparently a whole bunch of it. Just wasting a bunch of time. The guy reorganizing paper clips all day is getting the
Yeah.
axe.
Well, middle level management, that's what they do.
Yeah, 100%.
Jesus.
So yeah, they Intel's in rough shape. But I was watching CNBC on, I guess it would have been Friday or what day did the stock market plummet? Was that Thursday?
I don't
It
follow
was
that.
either Thursday or Friday.
Well, both days.
Um,
Started Wednesday.
and
Thursday was the worst.
Intel, which is also part, they're like this one of the big companies in the AI space behind Nvidia. They are trading at like a 15th of what Nvidia is trading at right now, which I think is a fascinating statistic.
What if somebody so sometimes the companies they do a mass cleanup right before they sell it. So do you think Intel's gonna be bought by like Microsoft or something?
There's nobody to sell it to.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would buy it. Well, I shouldn't say that, because you could get a corporate raider go in there to buy it, gut it, and then get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
think there's anybody large enough to buy it unless you would looking at it. Probably the only thing you would look at is maybe a Chinese company. Maybe
Be
one of the
so quick to kill the company. I don't think this is killing the company
No.
completely. This is a dip. But,
Everybody will bounce back.
Yeah,
Sooner
they'll
or later,
survive.
they'll bounce
They're
back. It's,
first of all, remember, these are not the only chips they're selling, right? Yes, they are their flagships, but did we talk about the whole thing, or are we just assuming everybody knows what we're talking about?
in regards to what? Into Intel?
Yeah.
No, go for it.
So they've announced this is an issue that started 2022, December 2022, like literally right out the gate when they announced the 13th and 14th generation, the 13th generation of their CPUs. Consumers who would overclock their CPUs, right, would experience blue screen. If we're talking about Windows, like CPU crashes and stuff like that. And the thing is that once that first blue screen after overclocking appears, it seems to have been degraded. It's like it physically had some physical damage to the CPUs. We're talking very prevalent in i7s and i9s. And what Intel came out with this week that caused the market to react in such a harsh way is that they found the flaw to be in all of their 13th and 14th generation CPU. And it seems to have to do with any CPU who's using more than 65 watts. 65 watts or higher CPU, whether they're overclocked or their base is at 65 watts, they are susceptible to this issue. This means that there is some flaw in the design that is causing these CPUs to actually malfunction at a certain point, and then that CPU is no longer reliable. And yes, that's a huge thing. I'm not saying it's something to brush off, but I'm saying they have been in this business. This is not the first time that they have a fatal flaw in their hardware, right? I don't know if you guys remember. I think this was I don't remember if it was Windows 3.1 workgroups or Windows XP, but there were a time, but there was an issue with the CPUs when you run through a set of division calculations, and when you got to a division by 0, the machine would crash, right? And do you remember that bug?
Yep.
So I mean, yes, back then they were smaller. That's true, but they were still the number one in the worldwide selling CPUs. So now they're facing this issue and they haven't provided a solution, right? They didn't say we're recalling them. They said contact Intel support, which is going to be cumbersome because Intel is not a consumer-facing company, right? So it's not necessarily something that they're going to be good at. It's very rough waters right now. And that's why I think the reaction is like that, because nobody knows how they'll actually react to this now that it's out.
So a couple of
Uh,
interesting things to know that 65 watt TDP means that like most business machines, like the ones that you see in offices, probably are immune, and most laptops too, because that's not power. It's not
Right.
power efficient for a laptop. But yeah, if you're a power user, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
But Gal,
Now,
would you not agree that over the last couple of generations, Intel has gotten their clocks cleaned by AMD?
I actually don't really, I really didn't follow that much because I'm not a gamer and because I haven't built machines, and neither for myself or for friends who needed gaming machines. I would, I would usually just direct people, go to Costco, see what they're selling. If you don't want to buy from Costco, then you just use the spec and find something out,
Sure.
right? It's my easy way out of it. This way, I don't spend a lot of time. Now, uh, whether Ryzen CPUs are better in terms of, I mean, there's definitely been up to the up up to the 11th generation that was completely true. Intel was way behind,
Yeah.
but the jump they did with the 12th generation was astonishing, right?
It was, yes. And that was what? Alder
12th
Lake, I think?
generation are solid,
Yeah.
like really solid. And now the 13s and 14th with this bug, it's a huge blow because usually in this race between these two, right, you get a leading horse for a while, and then the other one takes them on. But let's be clear, Intel was always the leader in terms of market share, right? Even if the performance was not better, they were always in the lead because the other guy, they can't handle the volume that Intel is handling.
True.
So that's the thing, right? It's yes. So for a while, they were at the lead in performance, but Intel usually it takes them a couple of years, but they usually, find a solution. Now
AMD
yeah,
has a tough past anyway. You look at how
right.
they went through I mean, they were never on top really until recently, but they had some near disasters. They almost went out of business.
Was that the Athlon series that almost put them
Yeah.
out of business?
Yep.
No, it wasn't the
No,
Athlon. It was the ones that came after the FX. The ones that I had. It was
one
a
that you had.
piece
Oh,
of garbage.
Yeah.
I have a undeposited check from an AMD class action lawsuit. It's like $2.80.
I
That
have the same one. It's on my bulletin board.
That
Yeah.
compensates.
Yeah, that
That's
compensates
great
for my.
compensation.
I'd say I think I lost 3 motherboards, and it was those
Oh.
chips were atrocious. They were so hot. They were so power hungry. I had an AIO on it. It still couldn't keep it cool.
Yep.
I remember having to get the largest cooler, CPU cooler I'd ever seen to get it to work properly and just keep the temperature down.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like took up 2/3 of the inside of the case. Had to have 3 fans running in the case. Yeah.
All right, so let's switch here. The U.S. Justice Department
Oh, we love them.
filed a lawsuit Friday against TikTok and parents company ByteDance for failing to protect children's privacy on the social media app as the administration continues its crackdown on the social media site. The government said TikTok violated the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act that requires services aimed at children. Now, I don't know about TikTok aimed at children.
absolutely.
Because but I mean, a lot of adults that I know are, hey, have you see this on TikTok? Again,
I mean, it's
I don't
true.
know. To obtain partial consent to collect personal information from users under age 13, which is the right way to do it. The suit,
Actually, the most sought after demographic is
kids.
13 to 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
Because they are the ones that once you mold them in a consumer base to a certain products, they will stay with it. That's been known
but
for
the
30 years.
but the law is about below 13.
No, but I mean that now they're getting younger. So,
Well,
yeah.
Anyway, but the suit was joined by the Federal Trade Commission, said it was aimed at putting an end to TikTok's unlawful massive scale invasion of children's privacy.
I have no problem with the lawsuit. Just can you add YouTube and Facebook also to the lawsuit?
I'm
Yeah.
wondering
I
how
mean, they're
they
doing
are.
this. Their tactics are exactly the same, right? So,
But let me
The
tell you
difference is how the privacy is dealt with.
but let me tell you something about YouTube. I don't know about Facebook, but I can tell you about YouTube. YouTube, when I post a video or I upload a video, if I say that it's
Not for children.
not for children, everything is okay. If I said that it is for children,
there's a ton of
I go
limitations.
through. I mean,
Yeah.
so I do everything. No, it's not for children.
Yeah.
So at least they're trying.
Well,
Yeah,
how
I mean-
does that stop? How does that stop a child from pretending to be?
Well,
look,
if you're a parent and you set up a YouTube account for your child, YouTube Kids is a pretty restricted platform. Now, there's a lot of people that are skirting they're doing a hell of a job skirting the rules on YouTube Kids, and they're making a fortune. By the way, these guys are getting millions of views a day.
I know
because these kids are just watching these videos on loop because they're
It-
7 years old.
it cannot be a one-sided thing. I mean, parents have to be involved here too.
Yeah.
And I know it's easier said than done.
Yeah, this is what it says. The Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, or COPA, when a individual under the age of 13 years old entered their age on the app, they'd be prompted to enter a username which doesn't contain personal information. It would create a kids mode account for users, but the app would not notify parents or get their consent. It does note that TikTok cannot upload videos in the children's mode, but can view all videos on the platform. The DOJ alleges that TikTok collected some personal information on all of them as part of the process, like, all of the data that you would expect them to collect. So I guess the difference is, you mentioned Meta and Google or YouTube. They at least, I guess, have those systems in place where when you are under that age, and I even remember, and this was, say, I would have been under 13, like 13 or 14 years ago. That's in the internet time, that's a relatively long amount of time. I remember signing up for services and having to go through that notification process. That was 15 plus years ago at this point.
No, I mean,
Or I just lied about
every
my
site
age.
you signed up to, there is like a clause that says that you are 13 or above.
Yeah, or if you're not, then you have to
You're
enter.
directed to another site,
Or-
they would have kicked you out. Like, you can't go through the sign up process.
Well, that's not. Yeah, or you had to go through it with a parent, because I specifically remember, like,
Well, for Xbox, maybe. Yeah.
I was thinking about, like, games like what was the Penguin game? Club Penguin. Katie, you remember that one? Do you remember that blast from the past?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I never joined. I was Neopets.
Yeah, there was,
Neopets, Webkins. Yeah, those I remember a position where you had to enter parental information, or they had to help you sign up for the account that would deal with some of this stuff. That was 15 plus years ago. So how the hell does TikTok not have it is the real question.
The only kids that didn't get to go to these sites are the honest ones.
So I'm
The
not
ones
honest.
Everybody else lied. I mean, to say that there was no way to check. I mean, yeah, I'm 18. That's all it takes.
So, Nick,
Yeah.
what I'm hearing is we need to create a platform that is called Only Kids, and
Kids
it will
only.
be only for it will be only for kids.
I can already hear the FBI hitting your door with a battering ram, Gal.
Yeah.
Did you say OnlyFans?
Yeah, I can hear the no-knock raid is taking place right now. There's a red dot on your forehead. Don't make any sudden
Hold on,
movements.
somebody's at the door. One
Yeah,
second.
I'm sure they are.
No, they come in through the window.
All right,
But
now
right here.
No, TikTok
We'll
deserves
see
it.
That's it.
Well, it is funny. This is kind of morbid a little bit. We covered this on Infection a couple of weeks ago. Roblox, which is a very popular game amongst when I say children, I mean literal children. We're talking like
Yeah.
5 to
6.
5, 6 to 15 or 16 years old. There was a report, I think it was 2 weeks ago, that last calendar year there was over 13,000 Roblox related incidents that were reported to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I mean, there is a huge issue with these platforms that I say harbor, and that doesn't mean it's nefarious, but harbor minors in the case of Roblox or TikTok or whatever in the way that they handle this. Because I mean, the story talks about a guy that all of these cases of these pervs online building relationships with 11-year-olds almost exclusively through a game, and then sending an Uber 700 miles away to come pick them up. 13,000 reports. That's pretty disgusting.
Yep. Wow.
But where there'll be children, there'll also be predators.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's why
So
and I kind of sympathize with these products and services, because dealing with that user base is got to be a royal pain in the ass. You can only imagine how the privacy policy and all of the extra hoops and steps that you have to jump through to deal with. I remember when I first signed up for Facebook, if you were under 14 or 13, I don't remember what the age was at
under
the time.
13.
Under 13, you couldn't. It did not exist. There was no
Yeah.
child Facebook. So everybody just lied about their age.
Right.
And now many of my friends who are now in their late
Let me guess,
20s
you
are
wanted
in their
to play
50s on
Farmville.
Facebook. Say it again?
Let me guess, you wanted to play Farmville like everybody
Yeah,
else.
of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Same thing we did with our kid. Yeah.
Now, I assume they have dealt with that now. Maybe they haven't. Maybe there is a Facebook.
That's a good question. I don't know.
How
Well, I think
old?
they did. Well, in the VR,
Oh, yeah, of course.
in the VR ecosystem, they write everywhere. This children below 13 should not play with this.
Well, this is interesting. They still have an age 13 Facebook
They just-
requirement.
They just didn't touch it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like they didn't touch it, right? But it's not like they are effectively
There's
doing
no age
something to prevent
verification.
it.
Yeah, that's a
Right.
good point.
All you need to do is just lie. And so TikTok, right? They are not lying. They are saying, just give us your age, right? And they're supposed to be like responsible there. And the lawsuit, that's why I'm saying the lawsuit needs to address all others, because they are being smacked because they are trying to do something, right? Let's call it better, okay, or different. But instead of just them saying, no, it's on you, if you lie, then I don't care, right? Which would have exposed them probably even more to the same data that they're being sued about. They're saying, no, because you've asked and you've approved after somebody said they're not 13 or above, right? You still accept them, then we're gonna smack you with a with a lawsuit.
Yeah.
So
So
that's why I'm saying it's one-sided. I don't care about them neither way, right? It's like I think they're all nefarious in that term and the way they peddle the data about us. But it's just, yeah, don't be one-sided in this lawsuit. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. So it looks like for Facebook it's 13, but they either have or in the process of rolling out an Instagram mode for individuals under the age of 13. Which
They
makes
really-
which makes more sense than
Yeah.
Facebook.
It does, but it also needs to have a top age limit.
Yeah.
True.
Well, I think it's yeah. Well, if I had to guess, it's probably like what TikTok does, where if you're under that age, you can't upload content, you can just view it. That's how TikTok handles it. But
No.
obviously, it's not enough, or according to the government, it's not enough.
Well, the government, what
I-
they're going to do is everybody will get issued a special camera with a fingerprint reader. so that you, in order for you to log in, you'll have to be able to have facial recognition
Oh.
and biometrics.
I've got an interesting story. Speaking of information and biometrics, so last Saturday morning or Friday morning, whatever, I woke up and I had I walked out to my office and I had my email client pulled up, and I had like half a dozen emails from LinkedIn about new sign in, here's your code, email address changed, two-factor authentication enabled. So somebody got into my LinkedIn account. I believe it was through an old college email, is my guess, because I had 3 email addresses listed, 2 Gmails, or 1 Gmail, 1 domain email, and then a college email, which I don't have access to anymore. So they got into it and they put a two-factor authentication on my LinkedIn account, which obviously they didn't
You
change
never
the
did. Yeah.
Yeah, I was able to reset the password, but I could not get past the 2FA
it's-
code. So I followed the link on the LinkedIn support website and I went through a third-party service. I don't remember what the name of it was, but I uploaded a copy of my driver's license front and back, and within seconds, two-factor authentication was disabled from my account. I was able to log in, remove the
Whatever they did.
hackers' email. They put a Hotmail and a Gmail address in there, removed those, removed all the other emails, changed the password, and put a new two-factor authentication on. I was amazed how quickly it worked.
This means that it's happened before.
Yeah, which I guess makes
My-
more sense for LinkedIn because of the way that it's set up and it's more business based. So there is
Did you have a complicated password?
I had a Bitwarden password. No, that's a lie. I did not. I don't know what my password was. I couldn't tell you the
Because
last
it
time
was from.
I couldn't tell you the last time I logged into my LinkedIn. I don't use it.
Well, LinkedIn, their breach was a while back, but it just means if you haven't changed your password since that breach.
You want to know what's
I-
interesting though? And I think I still have the emails because I think I moved them to trash, but I didn't delete them. What's fascinating about it is they had kind of a mock two-factor authentication setup. Yeah, here it is. So this all happened the 25th, which would have been 2 Thursdays ago, excuse me. So when they logged in the first time, I got an email to my Gmail address with a 6-digit PIN to verify who I was. And that happened 3 times before two-factor was turned on. But they obviously didn't get into my Gmail address. I know that.
How did they get the verification?
I'm
Right.
wondering, I think it was maybe through that college email address, maybe.
Oh,
I don't know. Because they would have had to have gotten it through
wow.
one of my Gmails. And both of
Well,
those have unique
maybe
passwords
not.
and have
What
two-factor.
happens after 3 times? That's what I don't know. Maybe after 3 times, there's another method of authentication of, like personal questions or something like
That's
that.
a good point. Yeah, that's a
right?
good point.
And if they had that data, then that would allow them to step in.
I got two pins, and then I got an email that two-factor was turned on. Then I got an email that a new email address was added to my account.
My LinkedIn was a part of the breach, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And I got an email that basically said my account was held hostage. And I just went in and changed my password.
That's a
Yeah,
good
but-
question, Gal. I wonder. Yeah, you're right. After a certain amount of attempts, it would give you the option to probably do
Right.
it another way.
Let's try something else.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the way in, right?
Yeah, I'm just curious how they did it.
Interesting.
And then
Well,
one of my thoughts, and I verified this, was I use a remote access client for remote desktop into my computer. And I was thinking, well, was maybe somebody get into my computer? Were they able to look at my email through? Now, not logging in, could they remote it? But there was no indication that there had been any sessions. So that's a great question. I have no freaking idea.
Interesting. What a waste of time on the hackers' part.
Well, I tell you
what were they expecting?
Well, and it's
I think
interesting
it's
is,
mostly automated on their side.
but what's interesting is they did not remove any of my primary email addresses, which makes me think that maybe, Gal, they did not have access to my email, because that would make sense. To remove the primary email, you probably would have had to click a link inside of or do something to verify the primary email removal. All they did was add an additional login email address, which how the hell could they have turned on two-factor? Maybe you just
It's just a click.
Yeah, but
probably.
typically it requires you to verify the so they must have had the password. I don't know what my password was. I couldn't tell you.
But you know it now.
No, I don't. It's in a password manager.
Just
No, I
just
don't.
Okay,
I have
but
no
you
idea.
changed it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
changed
I have no
Yeah.
idea what it is.
just went in to change mine, and I like the fact that they say require all logins to use new password,
Yes, which was good. Yeah,
which is good.
because it did. Yeah, LinkedIn. I don't know what it is with LinkedIn, but their session times are insanely high. I have not logged into my LinkedIn account in years, and every time I go,
haven't
I'm
either.
LinkedIn. I'm logged in.
It became a place for former friends to try to sell me books and other stuff. It wasn't about
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's what I'm
careers
saying. What a
anymore.
waste of time for the
Yeah.
hacker. I mean, what did they expect to
Plus,
get? What do they
uh,
expect to do? I mean, it's not.
I mean, if you
All
are
they want is the contact list.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
don't need anything else. They
yeah.
got it.
I'll tell you what, though, they are, if you are in marketing, if you're in any sort of sales, LinkedIn could be a huge part of your it could be your main venture, what the hell? Now my account has been restricted.
It does
I
say
found
that.
it.
Yeah,
I found it useful when I was looking for a job, just
I already
so
did this.
I had people recommendations that I could send to people on LinkedIn that I could send to potential employers. That was the only value it had. So
I don't see any value. I mean, every now and then I get an email that somebody's asking to be added, and I'll add them, but I don't log in. I don't do anything with it because I don't see the value. I don't.
Because you're not looking for work, Amnon.
Well, so if it's only looking for work, then what did that
That's
hacker
the
look
main-
for?
Well, I'm
Because-
unemployed. Yeah, I mean, what the hell were they looking
Okay,
for?
yeah.
So what the hacker is looking for is looking for your social graph.
That's
right?
true.
Who are you connected to? Who can be reached through you? If they have a profile about you, right? Then the people around you have similar profiles and they can reach out. Building a social graph means if they can get information from your account, and they can get information from another account, and they can cross-reference this, and now they know they can compile lists that they can sell to marketers who are looking for a certain audience. That audience can be out for buying something. That audience can be out for deciding something like elections, right? People want
Yeah,
data about other people.
There was
That's
an article which I didn't save that said that people are getting tired, unemployed people. Who are
Oh,
just
really? What's yeah, go
getting
ahead.
tired of LinkedIn. They are not because they're spending hours and hours, and they liked it from the trees. Oh, how does it go from the trees? You can see the forest for the trees.
You can't see the forest through the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That there is
Yeah.
just too much junk on it. That it
That's
turned
true.
out. It started for business for employment, and it turns now to be a sort of like semi-social network. And it's just people are saying, "Look, yeah, I need a job, but I cannot find any information here that will help me."
true.
And it's
So the only benefit today for LinkedIn, right? And you're right, using LinkedIn to search for work, like actually apply for a job or something, is useless because you see a job that is of some interest and you already see, right, that more than 1,000 people have applied. It's clear
okay.
that nobody on the
yeah,
other end
so-
is even looking at
Wait,
the
wait,
resume.
hold on. I use LinkedIn and I use it to apply to jobs, and I've gotten my past 2 jobs through LinkedIn.
Okay.
So it is a useful platform.
How long ago was that?
I mean, less than 3 years ago, because
Right.
I got
And
my
something has changed. That's what I'm saying.
Katie,
It's literally at that time frame.
Katie, the difference is you're so special that you rise above all of the schmucks
Oh,
like me because you're so
thanks,
special,
Nick.
right?
But I will say, LinkedIn is going the way of like Facebook. I
Yeah.
mean, I remember when you read an article about how they were like adding games or whatever.
Right.
So unfortunately,
What?
the
Yeah.
CEO
Wow.
is trying to treat LinkedIn as a social media
Right.
competitor to Facebook and Instagram, and that's just not. I don't think that is what the target audience wants, because it's supposed to be a job platform, and they're trying to morph it into something more so that they can get more money, which
You-
is, I mean, it's a business, so I get it, but it happens all the time. And then Glassdoor starting to, a lot of more people are going to Glassdoor, a lot more people are going to Indeed. So there's like
Indeed.
other alternatives.
Yep.
But Glassdoor, I've seen is a lot of what my friends are switching to. So people are just gonna bounce around to the different websites.
Yeah. So that's why, that may be why people are getting tired of it. But it was an interesting article about.
It's also just become riddled with spam. I mean, any
Yeah.
digital marketer is on there with, free clicks this and you can get views that. I mean,
Right.
it's turned into kind of an echo chamber of digital marketing people.
Right. That's the thing. And I mean, yes, God, I'm not looking for a job, but I do help people. That they are looking for people to work for them, and they don't know how to use what to do, and they always tell me, I set up an account on Indeed and I want to go there. So I did it a few times on Indeed, and it looks like it's pure business.
Indeed, yeah. Indeed's got no
Yeah.
social network
And
associated with it at all.
and they are always, I mean, each and every one of these people found the right. I mean, you get a bunch of applications and it works. So there's nothing.
Yeah, and for a long time, LinkedIn actually worked, right? That's the
Yes.
thing.
Oh yeah.
So
No, obvious.
LinkedIn today works only on one aspect. That's what I'm trying to say.
And I'll bet
LinkedIn
you.
today works only on the aspect of its social network of the connection itself. I'm meaning where when you post something about job search, right? And somebody in your peer group actually sees that, maybe in the second group, then that is the only effective thing about it today, because applying is fully automated on the applying side. It seems to be fully automated on the receiving side. The chances of you actually getting a phone call, to schedule an interview is so rare today on LinkedIn that, yeah, you should probably go to another site which is starting its way, right? It's in its first 4 years of operation and not its first 15.
Yeah.
And the amount of data that it's dealing with is still that it can actually do some quality work with it. And that's the thing, right? That's the key.
So the only
I'm
value of
competing on
LinkedIn,
a what's that?
the only value of LinkedIn to me is just finding old work
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah.
So, and it's great
Same.
for that. So,
Yeah. And that's why I'm saying, if you're looking for employment, right, and you already have some sort of network of work-based contacts, right, then there's a good chance that that can help you promote yourself elsewhere. But that's where the buck stops. Everything else is so completely mechanized, right, that the value of it has diminished. And I think the last couple of years, the last 3 years, it's just been exponentially increasing, this lack of personality, lack of personal accounts.
I
So
don't. I mean, I don't know about that. Indeed, you don't interact with anybody,
yeah,
but
but that
it's.
also means that there's no harvesting going on because there's no social network.
I
So
I I agree, but for the value, You go, it's
Yeah,
all
that means if
automated.
somebody's posting a job there, they're paying Indeed.
They
Yes,
There's
yes.
a transaction going on. It's not just a free for all.
Yeah,
Let's
well,
see where this gets me.
actually, it is. I don't know any of these people that I helped that was actually paying, because they do have the free thing. If you want, you could pay like 10 or 15 or $20 and get some more benefit from that posting. Not more options, but more uh m- better value. You may be being sent to people that are looking for it. I don't know. But the thing is that it is it works, and LinkedIn people are saying, unemployed people, recently been unemployed people, are saying in a uh, poll that they're tired of it. They're not going to use it anymore. They're going to other sites. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you.
but-
Over my last two jobs, I don't even remember going to LinkedIn I don't know that I went to LinkedIn at all to look for a job. I don't think I ever
Right.
have. There's just the sites are so much. Glassdoor,
They
Indeed, ZipRecruiter, all these other sites are to me so much more intuitive. If I'm going to look for a job, they're so much more intuitive than LinkedIn.
all
I've
right.
never, yeah. Now I've gotten plenty of messages, especially when I worked in the IT field, constantly solicitations for people trying to hire me. That was the only job related stuff I've seen.
All right. Let's again, let's switch a little bit here. And Gal, maybe you can say something about this. A recent investigation by consumer electronics testing site Rtings has raised concern about the long-term durability of edge-lit LCD LED televisions, a popular choice among consumers for their slim profiles and aesthetic appeal. The study, which simulates approximately 6 years of use through 10,000 hours of extreme testing on dozens of TVs, revealed a troubling trend of uniformity issues in edge-lit models, particularly affecting Samsung and LG products. That, I mean, like the laptops, and I don't know, maybe some of the early TVs, they were lit by a fluorescent at the top and at the bottom.
Yeah.
Now they are all the way around, and some of them, I mean, the TVs actually have LEDs embedded, like in a
Right.
right behind the screen. So now apparently there's something new that is edge lit, where they're going back to the
Right.
lighted from the edge, not from behind, and all four sides with LED. And they're saying that they're seeing uniformity of the picture. It's not that they break; it's uniformity. Did you read anything about that?
No, that's
No,
why I'm like, are they saying uniformity is good or not?
no
That's what
good,
I'm trying.
no good. That after 6 years, the picture is changing. The
6 years is
the
so long. It's like most people
well,
replace their
I
TV.
understand. I understand, but
Well, yes and no. I mean,
Well, if I wait till it breaks. Not that I
exactly.
replace it, yeah,
Most
but
people wait
most
till it
people don't.
breaks. And if we're going CRT time, right, a TV was expected to last 20 years.
yeah,
So, um,
yeah.
My parents' old
Any-
Dumont lasted longer than that.
Anyway, Nick,
Hello.
how or do you remember anything? Do you know about GameInformer?
Yes, big news of this week.
Yeah. I
Gonzo.
used to get their magazines.
Yeah,
finally,
finally they're dead.
I mean, they,
It says that it officially did, and GameStop killed it.
Well, yeah, their website's gone too. This isn't just their physical magazine; they're gone.
yeah.
It says
I
it
mean,
began publishing in 91 and
That's
has been one of the last remaining physical gaming magazines in the world.
right.
and when did you start computers? Original Computers 2K now 92.
93.
Okay, well, is this? Hopefully, this isn't an indication of the future for the future for you, Amnon. They gave it a good run. I mean, they were doing physical media literally up until this past year.
Wow. I mean, that's amazing.
I don't know why they got rid of their website though. I find
Well,
that
I
I
can
found that
tell
to
you
be
one thing is it's true they did it, right? And I can tell you as a former subscriber, right? Because we had a GameSpot rewards
Power
account and
Plus
all that.
member.
Yeah, something like for a couple of years. Is they did it wrong. I'm not surprised that it's gone, right?
Yeah.
It was it was useless from the point of initiation when you're talking about all of the content that you could get on that magazine was available, right?
Online.
From online reviewers anyway, and they never brought anything unique to the table. And not only that is you could choose whether you get the physical copy or the digital copy, but you couldn't get both, right? If you took the physical one, you couldn't access the online one, uh, stuff like that. It's like,
Really?
yeah, and they just they went about it wrong. And you can also the switching between them was always it's like they were supposed to be this cutting edge, right? About presenting cutting edge, and they were always like 3 steps behind everything. So I'm surprised it took them this long.
Mhm.
I mean, GameSpot was supposed to disappear, right, a couple of years ago. So
That's true.
yeah.
Wow.
But why kill the web presence? I mean, there's
I'm
still
guessing what they killed is they killed the publication. They killed the workforce.
Yeah.
I don't think the paper cost them that much, right?
well, I would argue the contrary. I think that is where you're spending. Print services right now are so expensive. But I don't know why you wouldn't. They were the Game Informer website had become just like IGN or GameSpot is gone. Engadget, it become like a tech news site but a gaming news site. I don't know why you wouldn't continue that. But you're right. I guess
Well,
you just
there's
hack
still
and slash
salaried people
everybody.
there, right?
No.
Salaries usually is higher than any other expense.
That's true. That's a very good point. So yeah, Gonzo.
Yeah. She's a gone.
So now where do I get my gaming news?
Yeah. Oh. Oh yeah.
Wikipedia.
I tell you, you can go to Infection Podcast.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
All right. Google launched
What's that?
its latest artificial intelligence powerhouse, Gemini 1.5 Pro,
Oh, thank
Friday.
Christ.
making the experimental version 0801 available for early testing and feedback through Google AI Studio and the Gemini API. This release marks a major leap forward in the company's AI capabilities and has already sent shockwaves through the tech community. The new model has quickly claimed the top spot on the prestigious LMSys Chatbot Arena leaderboard, boasting an impressive ELO score of 1,300.
The Electric Light Orchestra?
I have no
Wow.
idea.
That's pretty impressive. That's a pretty impressive score.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Katie, did you play with that?
No, I haven't played with anything. I have been so absorbed in getting ready for the convention. I need to catch up on everything.
Okay. All right, never mind.
Yeah, this is the same Gemini that found itself under a lot of criticism
Right,
a
in the
couple of
beginning.
months
Yep,
ago
yep.
for specifically its image and text generation that caught them a lot of flack online.
And Nick.
Hi.
Net neutrality.
My favorite. Without net neutrality, the whole internet ends. That's what we've been told for. I've
So-
literally been told that since I was a literal child. Without net
This-
neutrality, the internet doesn't exist.
This is going back and forth
I-
and back and forth.
Net
Hey, you-
neutrality and the fairness doctrine.
Yeah.
A U.S. appeal court on Thursday, blocked the Federal Communication Commission's reinstatement of landmark net neutrality rules, saying broadband providers are likely to succeed in a legal challenge. The agency voted in April along party lines to resume regulatory oversight of broadband internet and reinstate open internet rules adopted in 2015 that were rescinded under then President Donald Trump. So this time, they're not citing any technical reason for their decision. It's just because, well, if we do it, they're going to challenge it and they will succeed. So it's more of a,
This just needs to go to the Supreme Court and it just needs to be done with. I mean, that's the only way this stops.
that's what they said
Yeah,
about
but I
Roe
don't
v.
think the
Wade.
Supreme Court will want to touch it.
I don't think they will either, but if depending on obviously what happens in November, as Amnon noted, this was revoked under the previous administration. It will be again.
Yeah.
And then we will go back to
Right.
that.
it's
And then if
back-
there's a new administration after that, 4 more years, then it comes back. Like eventually, it's a constant seesaw of
yeah,
just
it's ridiculous
and at the end of the day, nothing changes for anybody.
for the main person that it should change for is the end user.
Yeah, but it hasn't. Net
it hasn't,
neutrality
right.
existed under
No.
Barack Obama for 8 years. It didn't
Yeah.
exist under Trump for 4. It has existed in part under Biden for like the last 2
Right.
years. If Trump wins again, it won't exist. If Kamala
Yeah,
wins, it will
it needs
exist.
to be
And
a
what
law.
has happened for me and you over that period of time? Netflix has raised their prices about 3,000%. That's about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but I think-
Game Informer shut down, which is real tragic.
But
Now
I think
that's
clumping Netflix into it is probably not the right analogy. The real question is what is going to happen in the long term for our internet connection at home. Like, so the part that I'm worried about, and I don't know if net neutrality even addresses it, right? The part that I'm worried about is today we are consuming based on not the bandwidth usage, right? Unless we're doing cells, we are using based on the bandwidth that we are allowed. And I am guessing that as service providers, right, there's going to be a point where they would want to charge per usage. That will come, right? And I think
That happens now, though, with the satellite provider, not Starlink, but the other satellite providers.
no, I agree. And look, if you look back, right, phone calls used to be that way as
Sure.
well, right? Because it made financial sense for whoever is providing this. It's that way with electricity. It's that way with, I mean, in a way, it's even that way with water and sewage,
Oh,
right?
you pay for your
Oh, yeah.
electricity? I just
There's a
tap off
meter.
the
Yeah.
pole.
Exactly.
Your
So-
taxes are based on how much water comes into your house. Your sewer taxes are based
Right.
on water.
And those are utilities, right?
Yep.
So is net neutrality, if net neutrality is actually moving us towards a solution like that, is that going to be a good thing or not?
Well, the claim
Right.
is the claim to move there is because of the unfairness of the fact that some people can't afford it. So they want to move it to a utility model because there are things in place to help people who can't afford utilities to keep utilities going.
I don't know if it's they can't afford it as much as they can't get it, right? The problem is I mean, the quote that we always hear is rural locations, right, where they cannot receive it. And so
It's not an economically
right,
fiscal
because,
thing
because
for
of the
the provider.
infrastructure, right,
Yeah.
right, which is being addressed, right, in the long term with solutions like satellite-based internet and stuff like that. That is going to be much more available. So the real question is, whether these are being addressed correctly. And I'm guessing because it's politics, right? Because it's eventually regulation, that we're not there yet. The discussion is not. The term itself is very alluring, but the actual discussion, right, is mute. It's either talking about all technology and irrelevant solutions, and not about how do we make sure that by law we are making sure that wherever we're going forward is going to be beneficial for everyone.
It'd be interesting because then
Yeah.
you're returning to the days of before deregulation, like with phones. And now you can get a a telephone line that's not governed by tariffs
Yeah.
anymore. So
Right.
they'll go back to that. If it becomes if the phone comes in over the internet, then it's going to be regulated.
This is true.
All right, it's almost time for us to sign off. But there's just a couple little things that I wanted to add here. I'm not looking for a job, and I'm also not looking for dates. But researchers have found vulnerabilities in the design of some dating
Oh
apps,
crap.
including the popular Bumble
Oh, this is bad news.
and Hinge.
This is awful.
Allow malicious users or stalkers
Oh,
to pinpoint the location of their victims down to 2 meters, 6 feet.
really? So yeah, but that's got to be through. Oh, so it's using the phone's location service, and the app must not be.
Something is not right.
Everybody
with
was
it.
concerned about people putting air tags on like girls' cars and things like that.
Something
I guess
like
you
that.
don't now. You
Yeah.
just find an exploit in Bumble. I
Yeah.
guess
And
that's a huge issue.
for those of us, I mean, I know some of you don't know what Skype is, but for
Who doesn't know who Skype is?
that, a lot of people don't. But guess what? What
Old.
Skype
Young
is
people
Magic
don't.
Magic Jack.
Microsoft is making Skype ad-free
Oh,
in an update that will roll out to users across the platforms soon. The update also includes improved AI image creation tools on Skype for Windows and Mac OS, and the ability to sign automatically on iOS. I
We're
mean,
gonna make it ad free, but we're gonna stalk the hell out of you.
well, I don't know. So it's interesting.
We are now going to listen in to everything you say and do, and we'll make choices based on that.
I mean, I'm
We'll-
looking
you-
here,
You'll see the ads on Bing instead.
and I don't see any.
how? Eminem, this is Windows what?
This is 7.
Windows 7, unupdated. A version of Skype
I'm
that is
looking-
undoubtedly not supported.
I'm looking on 10. There are no advertising.
There are. They're built when you're in calls. There's
Okay,
banner
that
ads and things
maybe,
like that,
and-
and you're also in the compact view right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So maybe it's hidden.
It's very possible. I have no
That
idea.
version
I
is
don't
not going
think
to
this
have
is
ads
going to do
because
it.
this
no.
is. I don't even got. Oh,
Oh,
wait, what was that? Was that an ad?
no, it's
No.
a menu.
And it also might have to do with the age of your account.
I don't know, but it's nice that apparently they
No,
realized.
first of all,
okay.
Amnon is a paying customer because he has
Oh,
a,
you
a
have the
phone
premium.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
Let me see if
that's
I let me
true.
see. I have
That's
Skype
right.
on here. Let me see.
Because I have the number.
The
yeah.
phone number for
Yeah.
computers to
Yep.
pay
Yeah.
now,
Yep,
everyone.
yep,
That's
yep.
a Skype number.
Yep.
And that means Amnon is paying for that account.
Yes. Good.
So use that phone, people.
Yeah.
Call, damn it.
All right. Anything?
My Skype is. Oh, let's see. Okay. Oh, I have a message 3 days ago from Copilot.
Wow.
Hey, it's Copilot. How are you today? I can help. Smiley eyes, not the actual emoji, the text in
Oh
parentheses.
my gosh.
I am an AI preview, so I'm still learning. Sometimes I might say something weird. Don't get mad at me. I'm just trying to get better. If you want to start over, type new topic. That's
Yeah.
great.
Did
But-
we talk about
Hey.
the story about how AI can't train itself?
Yeah, last week.
Yeah, last
That
week
it-
we talked
they-
about it.
that
Yeah,
it
when you and
goes-
I, Amnon,
Yeah.
where they showed how if an AI is used to train an AI, eventually it becomes nonsense. It can't because
Yeah.
it needs human intervention to.
It's the same as if you use the translator to translate from one language to another and then back and then again I mean, it completely has nothing to do with what the original thing said.
Remember the
anyway.
game
There's,
of, remember game of telephone? Where you'd be in a party and you'd whisper the same thing around the circle
And at
of
the
people
end,
and see what it winds
something,
up at the
yeah.
end.
All right, guys. Anything else that you need to add?
Copilot is currently generating me an image of 5 people doing a computer talk show in Skype.
In
In
Skype.
Skype, as if I didn't.
So Skype is on the way out.
It's just Copilot. It's the same.
And Magic
crap
Jack
that's
is
in bed.
available for $44.99 if you want to buy one.
Right.
Okay. This was great
Oh, wow.
as usual.
Some good images.
Do you have what do you call it? NDI on it?
Let me see. I don't think so.
Oh, never mind.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Pretty good. A lot of diversity in these pictures. Lots of beer too.
All right. So thanks, Spence. Thanks, Gal. Katie. Nick, it was great having you back here.
Thanks for
I
having
was
me.
looking at the date of the profile.
Mhm.
I don't think I find it hard to believe. You may be able to correct me, but the date of this profile, which is when I use it when you were here, was 22.
It's
Is
probably
that
about right.
possible?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that was great. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie and Donna. I mean Donna, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov and Yael. Thanks everybody for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. And change any same passwords where you use them. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Nick and Brian do the infection podcast it's different days, so you need to go to Infection Podcast and find out when is the live one, or you can just go to Infection Podcast and download the podcast itself, the recording, and listen to it. It's for survival games, gaming news, with a little bit of politics on the side. Have a great week, everybody. We'll be together again next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.